Hey guys, this is Gabriel Roberts with Roberts Bushcraft. Today I'd like to walk you through the steps that I've taken to prepare the mantel for our cabin. It's been a long work in progress, really since about 2021, right there at the beginning. First clip here I wanted to show you, we're actually milling the mantel from a piece of oak that we gathered from the farm. So this was a extremely heavy piece of lumber. I don't know, this thing was, it was a big log that we cut. We actually had to cut it in half just to be able to load it up on the truck, where we further milled it down into what we needed. Now, milled it out with the chainsaw. My grandma gave me a chainsaw jig for Christmas, so I put that to good use, milling this mantel out. Had a few pieces left over. We'll get to those here in a moment. This thing, guys, we're going big with the fireplace. Even though it's not going to be a huge cabin, we still want it to look huge. So we're going to have a big mantel, big fireplace. Nice oak mantel. Got a lot of character to it. Guys, this is the first mantel I've ever milled. A lot of fun. And we've gotten some really beautiful pieces left over as well. We might try to do something with. So back at the house now, I'm trying to sand down all of just the rough saw marks from the chainsaw. Using a coarse 40 grit sandpaper on an orbital sander, and just trying to get all of those marks out. So here's a small draw blade that I created from an old file. Just hammered it out. Sharpen it up. This thing is working great. It's actually working very nice. It's kind of like a push blade as well. But either way is working nice, working as a draw blade or a push. And honestly guys, it's really, really helping to get this bark off this oak mantelpiece. Part of the reason I'm doing the oak mantelpiece this early in the build, of course the fireplace isn't built or anything like that yet. Walls aren't even up. But I wanted to allow this thick piece to be able to dry out. And I knew it's going to take a lot of time to sand it down, finish it like I want to. So I wanted to go ahead and get started on it early. So that's just one less thing that I have to do later on. And this is something that I can work at during the week, whereas right now I'm not able to. Well, this is just one less thing that I have to take up on the weekends when we could be working on the cabin. So this is very nice. Glad I'm able to get started on it, and it's coming along great so far. This is going to be a beautiful piece when it's all said and done with. Now the plan was to leave one side nice and smooth. That would be the side facing up towards the ceiling. The side that you would, set your water bottle on, or set a lamp on, or a lantern, or something like that. The side that would be decorated a little bit, the side that most people would see. The underside, however, we wanted to leave rough cut. And of course we're going to finish that, but we still wanted to leave the rough saw marks and all that kind of stuff, just to kind of bring it back to the beginning, where we first cut it, and a bit of a conversation piece as well. So after sanding that down, really we just set it in the shop, let it season for the last half of 2021 and most of 2022 as well. And here we are in December of 2022, and I've just pulled this mantle back out, planed it down by hand with a super cheap planer that I bought from Harbor Freight, and pretty much just got it level enough to be able to sand down again. And then from there, I went back and sanded it some more, just to give it another good sand to get those remaining saw marks off, and to get some of the planing marks. I'm not an expert with a planer, and I do, especially at the beginning, made some kind of weird cuts, so I wanted to get those sanded off. But the really neat part about this entire thing is that I went and burned this mantle, not with a torch like I've been doing for the shutters and the eventually we'll do for the trim and the door. I actually burned this over a fire. Right, folks, just gotten a little fire started here today. I think it should be plenty hot for what I'm trying to do. Big day today. I'm gonna be taking the mantle, I'm gonna be burning it with this fire. This is simply to highlight the grain, but it's gonna take a little bit of a job to get it up here. So I'm gonna try to get you guys set up to where you can see. Still have the fire going here. All I'm doing is just taking a piece of sandpaper and just removing a little bit of what we just did, just to leave the grain highlighted. Let's go to a rougher spot, like down here. Start taking some of that char away. What we're going to be left with is a beautiful deep brown color. it's just gonna look really, really nice. Already start to see that. We'll just go in some of the darker spots, even it out. And that's the plan. We'll keep doing that. So I've sanded it off as much as I want to. Just applying some boiled linseed oil now. All I simply do is just slap a little bit on here. Probably do a couple of coats of this. I want to really soak deep into the mantle to protect it for many years. Probably do some kind of a poly finish, or maybe a, I don't know, some kind of a wax finish, just to seal it off. But yeah, guys, that's the mantle. Man, let me tell you, this thing is pretty. That side's a little darker than I wanted it to be, but eventually, I think most of this is eventually going to get cut off anyway. It's not too big of a deal to me. I'm going to get all of this oiled up, and I'll show you the finished product here in a moment. Alright guys, here's a quick look at the finished product. This thing is just beautiful. It's just, oh man. I mean, it's so pretty. There's no way around it. It's just, this is a statement piece. When you walk into the cabin and you see that hanging up, it's just beautiful. I love this little knot right here. Some of this reminds me of like an old gun stock or something. It's just, this is so pretty. And then these, gonna run like this. Maybe not in this specific spot, but oh, something like that. So they match up pretty. And I mean, everything is just so perfect about it. I mean, it's just beautiful. Let me back up here, give you another shot. Feed and wax is the finishing compound that we're going to be using today. Shake it down. Oh, let's pop the cap open here. Just kind of giving you guys a little bit of a, now obviously I'm going to use a whole lot more. Just to give you guys an idea of how it would go down. Take a rag, polish it out. Just kind of spreading it all over here. Then we'll come back about 20 minutes later and wipe all the excess off. And we'll do that to the entire mantle. Goal here on this one is just to take this little ledge off. I've already gotten it up in this corner, just working down on the actual meat of the part here. Now, it would have been a lot better to use something like a chisel right here, or I don't know, maybe a saw, but all of our chisels are at the cabin. So we're down to the old 40 grit sandpaper. It's getting the job done though. It should only take me just a little bit more time. And then we'll have both of the legs for the mantle done. This mantle is something special. This is after the beeswax coat. Check this grain out. This is just beautiful. I mean, just the amount of, just the colors on this thing. I'm overjoyed with how this looks. And even these legs down here. These are beautiful pieces too. I would like for those to be scooted out as close to the front as we can get them on the wall, just so they look good. Bring you down here to this one. This one has a really neat knot on it, but just beautiful pieces as well. They both feature a flat side and the slope side, and the flat side's facing out towards the sidewalls. And there we go, guys. So this is all material that we've sourced right off the farm where the cabin is being built. So it's really neat how that all just kind of comes full circle into this. But burn the mantle actually over the fire. Being a one-man job today, it made it a little weird trying to do this, but it ended up working out pretty well. Got it burned. Actually went a little darker than what I wanted, but I'm very happy that it is as dark as it is. So from there, I wanted to get some of that char off because it had gotten kind of thick in some spots. So I just took a 120 grit sandpaper and just started sanding it down. So I got most of the char, or the excess char, got most of that off. Really just wanted to highlight the grain here. Then I went and applied a linseed oil, boiled linseed oil coating, very thick. Just wanted to get that soaked in and to get this mantle nice and protected. After that dried, I went back with a beeswax finish, polished it off, and now we're left with what you see there. A beautiful, beautiful oak mantle that's going to go in the cabin on the farm with materials 100% sourced from the land that it's being built on. Neat stuff, guys. This is, again, the mantle has come full circle there. As you saw in some of the earlier clips from April of 2021, the cabin hadn't even been built yet. Literally the pillars that that we were just kind of setting the oak up on to mill, some of them weren't even complete. We had mentioned in that video that we still had to go in and fill some of those up with concrete. So at the time, the cabin was nowhere near even being started, really. We had just built the pillars. So we haven't even laid a log at that point. And even then, we were already thinking in the future, you know, let's get a mantle sourced, let's get it dried out, let's get it sanded down. And it's just neat to see now we're building the fireplace and we're at a point where we can put a mantle in. So it's really neat to be at this point. I'm glad that you guys have stuck with us and followed along up to this point. It's been really neat for us. Again, kind of looking ahead, trying to plan ahead for stuff like this. And I'm glad it finally worked out. Well, folks, hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing how I took this mantle from a tree and made it into the mantle that you see today. Hope you have a great day wherever you're at. Make sure to drop a comment down below. Like this video. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, may the wings of liberty never lose a feather. And God bless.